it is the bookish fox here. So, Amazon Editors 2024 Summer Picks. If you follow me on Instagram, I have said that I was going to make this video. And here it is. It's already hot here in Japan, where I live, by the way. So basically, there is this thing. There are these editors, apparently, on Amazon that give book reviews. And I was like, who the heck are these editors? I have no idea. Anyway, I didn't even know that Amazon has a page for book reviews, but they do. And they have compiled your 2024 summer reads. So I will be reacting to the cover. As a reader and also as a amateur cover designer, I design all my covers on Wattpad. If you want to check me out, it's at The Tiger Writer. I will also be reading the blurb. I will be giving my comments and also my interest level. I already, looked through these books when I was making the slides, so I do know kind of what was coming up. So this is not like a complete blind reaction. I think it's going to be interesting because as I was making these slides, I thought, this is kind of interesting. Okay, so let's see what Amazon wants us to be reading 2024 for summer, for our summer reads. Okay, so first, tell me right now in the comments, right here, you pause video right here, and you tell me what books you plan to read in the summer, if you have a plan. I'm a mood reader, so I don't have a plan. Hold on. My trash box has a cover on it, and the cover just kind of slipped off. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, we're getting back into the video. Okay. So tell me if you have a plan for this summer. Like what I plan to read for this summer is book 1, book 2, book 3, however many you have. Okay. I don't have a plan because I'm a mood reader, so whatever I feel during the summer is whatever I'm going to read. I don't usually do anything like, I don't have any books that take place in the summer. Like I don't do like summer reads in that way, but I do sometimes read middle grade books that are sort of summery in the summer. But I don't read, like I don't say, okay, this summer I'm going to read summer books. Sometimes I just don't feel for them, so I won't, because I'm a mood reader. Are you a mood reader? Tell me if you're a mood reader. If you're a mood reader, I get you. So, where did I get this info? Because I had never seen this before. Basically, I was looking for, maybe there's a list of editor's choice books or something, because that would be interesting to react to. What is an editor's choice book? I noticed that there are books that are chosen by Goodreads. They have like the Goodreads tag on the book page when you go and look at the information. So what I found eventually was Amazon Editors Personal Favorites for Summer Reading. And it says about the editor, Seira, I think that's her name, Seira Wilson. It says, Seira can't remember a time where she wasn't a diehard book lover, and one of her favorite things is helping other people discover books that they love. After more than 20 years in the book industry, Seira lives in a house brimming with shelves upon shelves of memoirs and mysteries, cookbooks and coffee table books, all manner of fiction, and an insane number of children's books and young adult novels. Don't judge, just borrow a book. So that is who she is. I don't know how these editors are chosen. Like, I didn't look up anything more about Seira Wilson, but she wrote this article on May 30, 2024. So that is very, very recent. I don't know if this is something that Amazon is doing new or they've been doing it for a while, because I had never heard of this. You might be wondering, oh, hey, why is this picture cut off weird? Well, that's because I cut it off weird. Because I don't want you to see the books yet. So I went to the link that says Editor's Summer Reads. There's a link here. It says, first, summer is a magical time of year, and the books we want to reflect our desire to escape the doldrums and go on an adventure through fiction or a can you believe it true story. The Amazon editors have curated a top 20 list of our favorite reads from summers gone by, along with a few brand new titles, and our recommended reads by genre if you want a side of murder with your beach chair or a poolside romp through a spectacularly real art heist. We've got you covered. Here's a look at books we each chose as a treasure of the season. You can see them all on our editor's favorite summer reads page. So that's where I went. And so you get to hear editor's favorite summer reads. Binge-worthy books for beach season, it says. And there's a list of books in various categories. There's also like this general list of books. Top 20, I guess, but actually there weren't 20. I think there were 19. So because I can't look at all of them, all of the books, there's so many genres. I think there is even a listing for cookbooks. I only read fiction books. I read some nonfiction, but mostly just fiction. So I'm going to start with this first list that has all kinds of genres. There are 19 books in this list, not 20, or unless I counted wrong. I don't think so. So these are all the Kindle editions. I don't know if any of them were like the paperback edition, so be aware that the paperback and hardback covers might be different. Some of them were different. I did check some of them. So I don't know what kind of order these are in. They were in kind of all different kinds of genres mixed in with each other. So I don't know if this is order of interest or order of popularity or order of, I don't know. I don't know what this order is. It wasn't alphabetical. Alphabetical based on author, not alphabetical based on book title. So I don't know what kind of order this was in, but I went in the order from left to right. So, this book, a video before this, I also said this book instead of saying this video. I must be drowning in books or something. This video is going to be part 1. This video is going to be part 1 because it's going to be a heck of a lot of blurb reading and book reacting for me to do. Hoping that I can actually make the full video today and not have to do it tomorrow because I have other things to do tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. If I mispronounce anything, that's on me. So part 1. Why aren't we moving forward slides? Part 1 is The Maid by Nita, Prose. This one had a 3.8 on Goodreads out of 500,000 ratings. I'm not going to go over all this stuff all the time. This is an editor's pick and the best mystery, thriller, and suspense genre on Amazon. And it's book 1 of 3. Book 1 of 3 of Molly the Maid series. When I saw this blurb, guys, I was like, okay, here we go with the trope. Molly Gray is not like everyone else. She struggles with social skills and misreads the intentions of others. Her Grann used to interpret the world for her, codifying it into simple rules that Molly could live by. Now, I want to say that I understand that some people, not me, but some people who are maybe neurodivergent, maybe they struggle with the world, how the world is, because they perceive it in a different way. I understand. But I don't know if this Molly character is that way. I don't know. They make it sound like that way, but I don't know. You tell me. But starting off a blurb with Molly Gray is not like everyone else. It's just such a big trope. Why? I can't even believe the first book in like this Summer Reads pick has this trope that I just... She's not like everyone else. Why do you even have to start it that way? Can't you just say Molly Gray struggles with social skills and misreads into the intentions of others? Why didn't you start it with that? Why do you have to say she's not like everyone else? Why do we have to make that a thing, a part of her character? Why can't she just be different but actually sort of blend in, but kind of, we find out that she struggles. Anyway. That's what I was just shocked to see that. I can't believe people are writing this in their blurb still. Or is this because this is book one, that it's been some time ago? But right now, when you see it, it's like, oof, kind of cringy. Since Grann died a few months ago, I was noticing Grann is capitalized here. Since Grann died a few months ago, 25-year-old Molly has been navigating life's complexities all by herself. No matter, she throws herself with gusto into her work as a hotel maid. Her unique character, along with her obsessive love of cleaning and proper etiquette, make her ideal fit for the job. She delights in donning her crisp uniform each morning, stocking her cart with miniature soaps and bottles, and returning guest rooms at the Regency Grand Hotel to a state of perfection. But Molly's orderly life is upended the day she enters the suite of the infamous and wealthy Charles Black, only to find it in a state of disarray, and Mr. Black himself dead in bed. Before she knows what's happening, Molly's unusual demeanor has the police targeting her as their lead suspect. She quickly finds herself caught in a web of deception, one she has no idea how to untangle. Fortunately for Molly, friends she never knew she had unite with her in a search for clues to what really happened to Mr. Black, but will they be able to find the real killer before it's too late? A clue like, what does that mean? Locked room mystery in a heartwarming journey of the spirit. The Maid explores what it means to be the same as everyone else and yet entirely different, reveals that all mysteries can be solved through connection to the human heart. Okay, well, if all mysteries can be solved through connection to the human heart, then why do I need to even be interested in this book? It's kind of what I thought when I read that sentence. Okay, I don't know what clue is. I think I do, but I'm not familiar with it. So I don't know. I don't like it when books do this sort of reference to other books, but I don't know those books. So why would I be interested then in this book because of this book that I don't know, because I don't know it? You know what I mean? So I'm reading this, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not particularly interested. Okay, so I want to tell you, let's go. I should have gone in order. First, let's look at the cover, because I said I would do that. This cover really unsettles me, because this white border that is around, you're not going to be able to see my mouse, sorry. This white border that is around the cover, that is just the website, okay? The book begins with a red part. The two lines that are surrounding the title and everything else, all the text and everything, they just end. I was like, wait, is this book cut off? What happened? Is this picture cut off? That is very unprofessional. So I looked it up, and no, it's the style, because there is another book that is like that. Maybe it's supposed to resemble a door, I'm now thinking, because the middle is like a lock shape. But I don't know. I don't really like that design. Also, this red and this white with these two lines just reminded me of sportswear. But that's just me, maybe. As for the title, when I looked at the Maid, I thought I wasn't expecting it to be like a mystery. So I was expecting it to be something like, I don't know, a rom-com or something. Although it is bright red, so I thought maybe a sinister rom-com. I don't know. But I didn't think it would be a mystery, thriller, or suspense. It doesn't feel that way, particularly from the cover. So I don't know. I really don't. It just unsettles me that those double lines just go off into the void. So this is about a maid who's a little bit different, discovering a person dead in his room. It's really severely reminding me about The Anvil of the World by Cage Baker, which it's a bunch of sort of little stories connected together. And one of the little incidents that happens is that the one of the main characters, called Smith, I think he was called Smith, he's working, or he owns like an inn or hotel or something like that. And in one of the rooms, one day, they find one of the guests has died, and it's a whole big mystery to figure it out. I think it's very common to have these sort of hotel type mysteries where you go in the room, the person who owns the hotel or whatever, the maid or whoever, they go into the room, and then they find out that the guest in the room is somehow been murdered. That is very, I don't know, it's not particularly unusual. I guess if you like this sort of stuff, then yeah, maybe it's pretty exciting, and maybe you like people who aren't like other girls. Maybe. I mean, it could be pretty exciting. I didn't look at like any of the inside of the book, so. But this has pretty high ratings. 90,000 ratings on Amazon, 4.2 stars. Pretty high on the high side. So, am I interested in it? Not particularly, but maybe you are. Somebody on that I interacted with on YouTube. She does makeup and also talks about writing in books, I think. She was looking for some thriller and suspense stuff, and this might be a book for her, actually. Anybody who's interested in these sort of things. I mean, when you think about it, if it's like a book that, okay, it's following this trope, so it's not going to be too surprising to you. And maybe that's what you want. You don't want to be too surprised. So maybe that's for those people. Okay, so the next book is Deacon King Kong by James McBride. This one has actually less ratings. But it is a 4.5. How is that decided? This is an editor's pick of best literature and fiction. In September 1969, a fumbling, cranky old church deacon known as Sportcoat shuffles into the courtyard of the Cause Houses housing project in South Brooklyn, pulls a .38 from his pocket, and in front of everybody, shoots the project's drug dealer at point-blank range. The reasons for this desperate burst of violence and the consequences that spring from it lie at the heart of Deacon King Kong, James McBride's funny, moving novel, and his first since his National Book Award. Okay, this is a lot of accolades. McBride brings to vivid life the people affected by the shooting, the victim, the African American and Latinx residents who witnessed it, the white neighbors, the local cops assigned to investigate, the members of the Five Ends Baptist Church where Sportcoat was deacon, Sportcoat was deacon, the neighborhood's Italian mobsters, and Sportcoat himself. As the story deepens, it becomes clear that the lives of the characters caught in the tumultuous swirl of 1960s New York overlap in unexpected ways. When the truth does emerge, McBride shows us that not all secrets are meant to be hidden, that the best way to grow is to face change without fear, and that the seeds of love lie in hope and compassion. Okay. Bringing to his pages both his mastery storytelling skills and his abiding faith in humanity, James McBride has written a novel every bit as involving as The Good Lord Bird and as emotionally honest as The Color of Water. Told with insight and wit, Deacon King Kong demonstrates that love and faith live in all of us. Okay. I like the cover. I like this sort of painterly, like someone just scribbled on top of it kind of feel. It looks very nice. There's a lot of bit in this book, in this blurb, that is like somebody had read and reviewed it, kind of thing. Not that it was a blurb. The blurb was just the first paragraph, and I wanted a little bit more of blurb, because I don't know about the good Lord Bird. I've heard of James McBride, actually. I have heard about him. Some booktuber somewhere talked about him before. I feel like that. But I don't know about his award-winning good Lord Bird. If you do know about it, you're like, oh, great, James McBride, he wrote another book. And you can oh, this is his book. Oh, then I am going to impulse buy. So that'll be good for you. But for me, I don't know the good Lord Bird. I am not familiar with James McBride's style, writing style, or anything like that. It's all new to me. It's very, very all new to me. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. So I don't know. I want more blurb because I don't know the good Lord Bird. I'm not familiar with it. And I don't like, personally, okay, it's personal. All this stuff is personal opinion. I don't like it when books put in blurbs like the author's past accolades and that's all they sort of talk about. Like, I didn't come here to read his Wikipedia page. I came here to read what this book is about to see if I'd be interested in even checking out the first page, doing a sneak peek. So, I don't know. If I could find a blurb that was a little bit longer, I'd like to check that out. But at the moment, if you need to list up all your awards and stuff to entice people to buy it, is it like you're not so very confident in this book or something? I think there should be more blurb. I want there to be more blurb and all this other stuff. That's my opinion. It doesn't have as many ratings as the previous book, The Maid, but it could be interesting. Are you interested? I mean, I like a story that takes real world sort of issues and stuff like that. I like reading about other people's lives, but I don't know. Also, I found the title has King Kong in it. That's okay, huh, to use King Kong. Even though that's quite famous alien dinosaur dragon thing. I don't know. Anyway, my interest was kind of at this moment because there's not much of a blurb. I want more blurb. This first paragraph, actually, when I look at it, this first paragraph is just one sentence. I want more blurb. So the next book is this book, Margo's Got Money Troubles. It's a pinky purple book by Rufi, Thorpe, and it's a girl laying on the couch. I'm now noticing, I didn't notice this the first time, I'm now noticing that there's a thing, some kind of laptop or something that she's leaning onto with her one hand, with her left hand. And then there's something in the black part on the bottom. Is that supposed to be on a rug or something? I don't know. There's some orange thing, and I don't know what that is. It looks like it could be a bottle of something. It also looks like it could be a tiny tiger with a tiny yellow bottle cap on his head. This is a #1 new release in the category Dark Humor. I didn't know there was a category Dark Humor. I really need to check that out because I'm writing a dark humor, magic realism, literary fiction style horror kind of book, and I need to be reading more dark humor. So maybe I need to check that category out. Anyway, I like the cover. I like that it has kind of like a different kind of vibe to it than other illustrated covers I've seen. Although it uses the same type of font, I wouldn't expect this to be dark humor though with this font, because with this font I see it used a lot in like romance novels and rom-coms and stuff like that. So I'm thinking it's going to be like that, but this is dark humor, huh? Huh. Interesting, because it's very bright and pink and everything. So I wouldn't expect it to be particularly dark. Well, let's see. As the child of a Hooters waitress and an ex-pro wrestler, Margo Millets Margo Millet has always known. I don't know if you can do apostrophe S with a has. Can you? She's got, like, she has got, I guess you can. Margo Millets always, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me. As weird. Margo Millets. I don't know, I'm just having so much trouble with her name. Oh my gosh. I just realized something. I just realized I just read Margo backwards and it's O Graham. Margo backwards is O Graham. That's hilarious. Okay. Margo's always known she'd have to make it on her own. That rhymes. Margo's always known she'd have to make it on her own. So she arose at her local junior college, even though she can't imagine how she'll ever make a living. She's still figuring things out and never planned to have an affair with her English professor. Oh, okay. So while the affair is brief, it isn't brief enough to keep her from getting pregnant. Oh, all right. Despite everyone's advice, she decides to keep the baby mostly out of naivete and a yearning for something bigger. Now at 20, Margo is alone with an infant, unemployed, and on the verge of eviction. She needs a cash infusion. Fast. When her estranged father, Jinx, that doesn't sound like a good name. Okay, I am already seeing where this is going. Shows up on her doorstep and asks to move in with her. She agrees in exchange for help with childcare. Then Margo begins to form a plan. She'll start an as an experiment. I just remembered as I was about to read that, YouTube, you can't say that on YouTube. I hope I passed that. She'll start a thing as an experiment and soon finds herself adapting some of Jinx's advice from the world of wrestling. Oh yeah, her father was an ex-pro wrestler. How is wrestling related to that account? Anyway, like how to craft a compelling character and make your audience fall in love with you. Okay. I see. Before she knows it, she's turned into a runaway success. Okay, could this be the answer to all of Margo's problems, or does internet fame come with too high a price? Okay. It went into a direction that I didn't expect it to go. So I probably won't be reading this, but some of you guys might like this. Some people might like this. It does hype itself up and say it's blisteringly funny, filled with sharp insight. Margo's got money troubles is a tender tale starring an endearing young heroine who's struggling to wrest money and power from a world that has little interest in giving it to her. It's a playful and honest examination of the art of storytelling, controlling your own narrative, and an empowering portrait of coming into your own both online and off. Oh, so that's why she has a computer or a laptop in this illustration. I see. I see. Margo begins to start an experiment, wrestling advice, and okay. It's kind of a. This is dark humor, huh? Huh. You know, I'm not interested in reading it, but I'd be kind of interested to see if there's any or going to be probably, because it doesn't even have any ratings. This is a new release. probably very, very recent new release. Although this author seems to have written something before called The Knockout Queen, it says on the book. Author of The Knockout Queen. Knockout Queen? Wait, could this be like a sequel or like related or something? Because Margo is the child of a Hooters waitress and an ex-pro wrestler. And when a wrestler wrestles someone to the ground, don't you say knockout, or is that more about boxing? I don't know. What do you say wrestling? Do you say knockout? So when I saw Knockout Queen, I thought, is that actually about her mother? I don't know. I didn't check it out. I don't know. So, anyway, apparently this is a summer read. I mean, I guess, well, I'm not going to be reading it, but, I feel like some people will really like this. I feel like there is a place for this book out there. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I hope I fumbled through that very nicely. Okay. This is a one with ratings. It's an editor's pick in best mystery, thriller, and suspense. I thought we already had one like that. This one's got a tagline. Okay, so this book is We Begin at the End. And it's reminded me of the book, They Both Die at the End. I actually saw a bunch of books that have titles like this kind of title, like we begin at the end, or it ends like this, or it ends here, or something. This is now a new trend. This is a new trend in titles. We're beginning at the end. Okay. We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker, I think it's right. The 20,000 ratings on Amazon, 4.4. I mean, it's pretty good, I guess. I don't know. 100,000 ratings on Goodreads with a 4.2. Is that pretty good? I don't know. Let's see. Right, wrong. Life is lived somewhere in between. Okay. Right. All right. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's true. It doesn't make me go, oh, that is interesting. It's like, yeah, so, but let's continue on. Okay. Duchess de Radley is a 13-year-old self-proclaimed outlaw. Rules are for other people. Okay. She is the fierce protector of her 5-year-old brother Robin and the parent to her mother Star, a single mom incapable of taking care of herself, let alone her 2 kids. You know, this is how you do it. You don't start off with Molly, whatever was her name. Molly is not like other girls, kind of. Molly is not like everyone else. You start off with something like, Duchess de Radley is a 13-year-old self-proclaimed outlaw. That is saying that she's not like everyone else, without saying that she is not like everyone else. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit more descriptive, I think. I think that's what I wanted in that first book, The Maid, that I wanted the blurb to have that in there. Otherwise, it just like, not like anyone else. Okay, bad trope. I am not looking at this. I'm not looking at that trope. But when I see something like this, a 13-year-old is a self-proclaimed outlaw, it like tickles my little long time ago inner teen rebellion phase that I had, and thinking, this might be kind of interesting. So anyway, another interesting point. I really stumbled upon this. I was like, what? So I read it again. The parent to her mother, Star. Okay, I see. She is having to take care of both her little brother and her parent at 13 years old. Okay, I see. Troublesome household. Let's see. Hold on a moment. Walk? Wait. I'm reading that right? This is a name. Walk has never left the coastal California town where he and Star grew up. He may have become the chief of police, but he's still trying to heal the old wound of having given the testimony that sent his best friend, Vincent King, to prison decades before. And he's in overdrive protecting Duchess and her brother. Now, 30 years later, Vincent is being released, and Duchess and Walk must face the trouble that comes with his return. We Begin at the End is an extraordinary novel about two kinds of families, the ones we were born into and the ones we create. Okay. It actually sounds kind of interesting. I mean, I thought I might not be particularly interested in it when I first saw it in passing, but I thought, maybe this is actually interesting. And I'm actually seeing some, I don't pay a lot of attention to the little bits of reviews that other authors give other authors, but I'm noticing now on the cover there's something from Kristen Hanna, who wrote The Nightingale, which I read and liked to an extent. She said vibrant, engrossing, and unputdownable. Look, I used to think that if someone says something is unputdownable, that is kind of, first of all, it's a mouthful of a word. Second of all, it's a weird word. But maybe I should try it. And there was one book that was said that it was unputdownable. And then it was actually pretty good. I actually can't remember which book that was. Anyway, there's also someone else, and I don't know this AJ Finn person, but it says it's a West Coast Where the Crawdads Sing. And I read Where the Crawdads Sing. So now I am a little bit curious about what they mean by a West Coast Where the Crawdads Sing. But when I read this first part of the blurb, I can see that it's a bit like Kaya, which was the main character in Where the Crawdads Sing. I think that's how you say her name. And it's kind of similar. She is having to take care of herself and also her father at some point at a very, very young age. It's kind of similar to Duchess Day Radley situation. So I am a little bit interested. I'm not really fond of the cover. With that little blue part being at the side, I'm pretty sure that it's one of those covers that are like partly there, partly not there type of covers. Like it's not all the way to the end type of covers. I don't really like those type of covers. Why do they do that? Why do they think that was a good idea? Oh, but wait, this is the Kindle version. That reminds me, it's the Kindle version, so it could be, the paperback could be different, but I don't have high hopes for that. The cover doesn't really tell me much about anything. There's just the girl standing. I wish there was more on the cover, but colors are nice. I want to stop here for a second and make a little note. We have been seeing The Maid is a red cover. Deacon King Kong has orange in it. Margo's Got Money Troubles is pinkish and pink. And We Begin at the End has yellow and orange in it. Summer reads, guys. There is a theme here. I'm seeing a theme in the color of covers that people are picking for the summer reads. I feel like this is very interesting. Is this on purpose, or this just, I don't know, on accident? I think it's very interesting. Anyway, here we go. It's Red Rising. I have this book. I haven't read it yet. I have this book. Very, very famous book. Yes, 400,000 ratings on Goodreads, 4.3. 50,000 ratings is actually not as much as the first book, maybe because it's been around for some time. 4.6, book 1 of 6 is Red Rising. It's an editor's pick for best science fiction and fantasy. I've heard that it would definitely deserve very high ratings. It's interesting on this book cover. It says book 1 of the Red Rising trilogy, meaning that Red Rising trilogy, but it says book 1 out of 6 on Amazon, so that means he wrote 3 books after. So That's interesting. I wonder if the book that I have has that on it. Maybe I should check. So, that's Red Rising cover. The title being on the side like that. I mean, it's kind of feels a little bit all over the place, but also, I don't know, maybe it reflects the, what do you call it? Cover trends back in the day, perhaps. Okay, we will read. You might be familiar with this book, but I will read the blurb anyway. Darrow is a Red, a member of the lowest caste in the color-coded society of the future. Like his fellow Reds, he works all day believing that he and his people are making the surface of Mars livable for future generations. Yet he toils willingly, trusting that his blood and sweat will one day result in a better world for his children. But Darrow and his kind have been betrayed. Soon he discovers that humanity reached the surface generations ago. Vast cities and lush wilds spread across the planet. Darrow and Reds like him are nothing more than slaves to a decadent ruling class. Inspired by a longing for justice and driven by the memory of lost love, Darrow sacrifices everything to infiltrate the legendary Institute, a proving ground for the dominant gold caste, where the next generation of humanity's overlords struggle for power. He would be forced to compete for his life and the very future of civilization against the best and most brutal of society's ruling class. There, he will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if it means he has to become one of them to do so. Oh, wow. This is like old school dystopian fantasy. I'm loving it. I mean, of course, I got the book because of the blurb. Obviously. Really want to get into this series sometime in the future. It's been on my TBR for a while, actually. Not as long as some other books, but a while. Anyway, I am definitely interested because I have the book. Have you read Red Rising? Have you read all of them? Have you read some of them? What do you think about this book? What do you think about the series? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so I believe this might be the last book in this part 1. No, it's not. Okay. This next book is The Art Thief, and I like this cover, and I will tell you why. It says, as a tagline, it says, a true story of love, crime, and dangerous obsession. And the art chosen for this, I don't know it, but it looks like it could be about love, crime, and a dangerous obsession. I just feel like that, the way this person is just lying there and be like, oh, that's what it looks like. And it's like some dangerous like obsession or some like delirium or something like that. I don't know, but it looks pretty. It's a good choice. It stands out and it has red on it because warm colors are about summer. The author is Michael Finkel? Is that really his name? Is that how you say his name? Michael Finkel? That's a fun name. That's a fun name to say, Michael Finkel. #1 bestseller in heists and robberies, biographies and memoirs. Biographies and memoirs. Oh my gosh. This is really a true story. This is really a true story. Ooh. I actually like that. I actually like those things. I like it if it's a true story. If it's a true story, that is fun. Doesn't have many ratings. Why not? Because it's a true story. People don't want to read true stories. Come on. Okay, let's read this. In this spellbinding portrait of obsession and flawed genius, the best-selling author of The Stranger in the Woods, okay, brings us to, I'm going to butcher his name, Breit Weiser. It's not it. It's a German name probably, right? Or French or something. It might be Breit Weiser for all I know. Let's say Breit. Shorten it for my sake, please. Brings us into Breit's strange world. Unlike most thieves, he never stole for money, keeping all his treasures in a single room where he could admire them. It's actually feels familiar to something. Was this story ever turned into a movie? Because I'm remembering some movie that I watched. It was called like The Art Collector or The Art Advisor or something like that, and I think he might have stolen some paintings and put them in his room or something like that to admire them, and that's all he did. I can't remember, but I feel like there was a movie like that. Or I could be wrong. But I remember some kind of movie like that about this guy who's just obsessed with this art. Could it have been? Okay, well, let's read on. For centuries, works of art have been stolen in countless ways from all over the world, but no one has been quite as successful as it at it. No one has been quite as successful at it as the Master Chief Stefan Brazier, carrying out more than 200. Wow, 200. Oh. Carrying out more than 200 heists over nearly 8 years in museums and cathedrals all over Europe, Braid, along with his girlfriend who worked as his lookout, stole more than 300 objects until it all fell apart in spectacular fashion. In The Art Thief, Michael Finkel, is that really how you say his name? That is such a fun name. Brings us into Braid's Weezer's strange and fascinating world. Unlike most thieves, Braid never stole for money. Instead, he displayed all his treasures in a pair of secret rooms where he could admire them to his heart's content. That is really sounding like that movie I watched. Maybe this is like then I really need to read it because I watched the movie. Maybe it is. Instead, he displayed all his treasures in I already read that part. Possessed of a remarkable athleticism and an innate ability to circumvent particularly any security system. I don't know, actually, if this is the... I'm not sure. Bright Razor managed to pull off a breathtaking number of audacious thefts, yet these strange talents bred a growing disregard for risk and an addict's need to score, leading Bright to ignore his girlfriend's pleas to stop until one final act of hubris brought everything crashing down. This is a riveting story of art, crime, love, and an insatiable hunger to possess beauty at all costs. Okay, if Michael Finkel, I like saying his name, it's so much fun. If Michael Finkel, if Michael Finkel is a good writer, if I can get into his style of writing, I might actually want to read this. This sounds really good. It does sound like that movie I watched. I think that movie was in another language. I don't remember it being in English, okay? I don't remember it being in English. It might have been like wherever he is, it German or I don't French, I don't know, but wherever this guy is from, this heist guy is from, it would have been in that language, I think. I don't think I watched it in English. I don't think it was in English. But it really does sound like that movie I watched. It sounds like, but there are some parts that I'm realizing are different, so maybe the movie was based off on this story. Possibly. So I am quite interested. There's only 4,000 ratings on Amazon with a 4.3, 4.0 on Goodreads with 30,000 ratings. Why didn't it have so few ratings on Amazon? I have no idea. But it is the #1 bestseller in heist and robberies, biographies, and memoirs. So, do you like biographies and memoirs? I like them sometimes. I mean, it really depends on who's writing it, the person, everything like that. Do you like their style? I'm drinking coffee. Anyway, next book. Is this the last book? No, it's not. Okay. How many more? Okay. I see. Two more books, guys. Okay. So this one was popular some time ago. It's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I have heard mixed reviews about this book. It's by Gabrielle. It's probably Gabrielle. Gabrielle Zevin. Gabrielle Zevin. Zevin? How do you say her name? It's an editor's pick in best literature and fiction. Let's see. Okay. From the best-selling author of The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry on that's not part of the blurb. Oh, right. On a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard. I've actually never read the blurb of Tomorrow. I wasn't particularly interested in this title, not particularly interested in the cover. I just wasn't interested. There was also a book called like The Sun Is Not a Star or something like that, and there was a lot of really loud covers going on in that year. I wasn't particularly interested in them. So I never actually read the blurb. So let's read the blurb with me today. On a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Masser exits a subway car and sees, amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform, Sadie Green. Okay, he calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins. A legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimate since childhood, borrow money, bake favors, and before even graduating college, they have created their first blockbuster Ichigo. Okay. That's where the Japanese comes in, I see. Overnight, the world is theirs. Not even 25 years old, Sam and Sadie are brilliant, successful, and rich, but these qualities won't protect them from their own creative ambitions or the betrayals of their hearts. Spanning 30 years from Cambridge, Massachusetts to Venice Beach, California, and lands in between and far beyond, Gabrielle Zevin's Tomorrow examines the multifarious nature of identity, disability, failure, the redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, and to love. Okay. I mean, it seems like an interesting story. I have heard some mixed reviews about this, though. I've heard some people say that they love it. I've heard some people say that I know that a lot of people love it, but this book was too much or something like that. There was something about like this plot or storyline or something that didn't make sense to them. I don't know the details, but okay. Well, am I interested? Not particularly. I'm still not particularly interested. Okay, I lie. I'm a tiny bit curious. I might do a sneak peek for this and see if I get interested in it. Yeah. So, anyway, I don't like the cover. I just don't like it's just so noisy and all kinds of things. I just don't like the cover. And why is it rainbow? Why do we have to be so colorful? I just don't. With all this in the Japanese painting, famous Japanese painting in the background, like why do you think it's a good idea to use Japanese and stuff? I am from Japan. I have lived in Japan since I was 2.5. I'm practically Japanese. I'm also practically American. I don't know. When I see like Japanese things being used, I'm like, I get a little cringy inside because I haven't really read many books in which the characters who have like Japanese names or who are Japanese or the cultural bits of Japan being used in the story as like a major part of the story being particularly good. I've read some that were good, but some of them that were just like, why do you do it like that? And it just makes me feel weird reading it because I live in Japan and I'm very familiar with this stuff, and I'm like, I'm kind of wondering now, do people who live in like Europe feel some way when they read books that take place in medieval Europe? Do people who are from Italy read stories about Italian mobsters from authors who have nothing to do with Italy, do they feel some type of way? Even if the research was done, do they feel any type of like, oh, I don't know if I want to read that because it's might not be written so well or something like that? Do they have anything? Do you have anything like that? Where are you from? Do you read books that take place in your country? If you're from America, you probably don't have much choice because a lot of books probably do take place in America. But if you're from like or you have a cultural background, like maybe Spanish background or something, and you read a book and it has something Spanish in it, although the author has nothing to do with that Spanish background, I don't know. I don't know. Do you feel any type of way like, oh, I don't know if I want to read that? Or you tend to avoid books that portray your culture and stuff like that? I'm curious. What are your thoughts? Because sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if this is Japanese name. Why? I just cringe a little bit inside. Yeah. That could be just me. I could just be overreacting. Yeah. Anyway, next book. So I'm saying I'm not particularly interested in tomorrow, but that I will be checking out possibly a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah, so we're moving on. This book. I'm actually interested in this book. I like a good seafaring book. Okay? I like a good seafaring book. Okay? The first seafaring type of book that I read was The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. And I really liked it. And I always wanted to find another book like that. Yeah. And then I read, is it Into the Heart of the Sea or In the Heart of the Sea? It's about, it takes place, I think, in 1880 something. 1880 or 1860. Which is it? I don't know. But it's about a giant whale and these people surviving this giant whale attack. The ship is called the Essex. So, and I really liked the movie, and I liked the book, and then I watched the movie again, and then I was like, oh, these are the differences and these are the similarities. That was very interesting. Oh, the book was fantastic. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's a true story too, and then you think, oh my gosh, this was a true story, and they are like even more wowed about it. So this book I'm interested in. I may definitely be adding this to my wish list. It's The Wager. I think it's read Wager. The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny, and Murder. Mutiny and Murder by David Grann with 2 N's. On January 28, 1742, a ramshackle vessel of patched-together wood and cloth washed up on the coast of Brazil. Inside were 30 emaciated men, barely alive, and they had an extraordinary tale to tell. They were survivors of His Majesty's ship, the Wager, a British vessel that had left England in 1740 on a secret mission during an imperial war with Spain. While the Wager had been chasing a Spanish treasure-filled galleon known as the Prize of All the Oceans, it had wrecked on a desolate island off the coast of Patagonia. The men, after being marooned for months and facing starvation, built the flimsy craft and sailed for more than 100 days, traversing nearly 3,000 miles of storm-racked seas. They were greeted as heroes. But then, 6 months later, another, even more decrepit craft landed on the coast of Chile. The boat contained just 3 castaways and told a very different story. The 30 sailors who landed in Brazil were not heroes. They were mutineers. The first group responded with countercharges of their own of a tyrannical and murderous senior officer and his henchmen. It's getting very interesting already in the blurb. Oh my gosh. It became clear that while stranded on the island, the crew had fallen into anarchy, with warring factions fighting for dominion over the barren wilderness. Oh my gosh. As accusations of treachery and murder flew, the Admiralty convened a court-martial to determine who was telling the truth. The stakes were life and death, for whoever the court found guilty could hang. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I am so interested. Oh my gosh, I am so excited and interested. The Wager is a grand tale of human behavior at the extremes, told by one of our greatest nonfiction writers. Grann's recreation of the hidden world on a British warship rivals the work of Patrick O'Brien. His portrayal of the castaways' desperate straits stands up to the classics of survival writing such as The Endurance. I don't know what all this stuff is. And his account of the court-martial has the savvy of a Scott Turow thriller. I don't know who Scott Turow is. As always with Grann's work, the incredible gist of the narrator hold the reader spellbound. Well, that ending part wasn't much of the blurb, but the blurb, I am so interested, you guys. I am so interested. Oh, I like a story like this. It is reminding me about Into the Heart of the Sea. I think it's In the Heart of the Sea. Into the Heart of the Sea? Oh my gosh, I need to check that out. I did do a review on my Instagram, In the Heart of the Sea. You can find it in my highlights. There are a few highlight groups that are called reviews, and it's in one of them. So you can find it. It's really good. So yeah, I have nothing else to say. Are you interested? It has 20,000 ratings, 4.5 stars, 4.2 Goodreads, and over 100,000 ratings. It's a #1 bestseller in maritime history and piracy. And now this, yes, I would call this a summary. You would want to read something with a shipwreck, mutiny, and murder, and with these two sides telling different stories, and it could be life or death. Oh my gosh, about ship at sea and all this interesting stuff. That sounds interesting. This is definitely going into my wish list. That, The Wager, and what was the other one? The Wager and The Art Thief. Interesting that these are two sort of either based off of two storybooks that I'm interested in. I'm not particularly interested in the other ones, although I am interested in Red Rising, but I already have it, so, in terms of like if I'm going to get the book. I'm also going to look up and see if the movie that I watched was based on this story of Stefan Braithwaite. I don't know how to say his name. Michael Finkel? Michael Finkel. Is that really how you say his name? Or am I saying it wrong and in a funny way? Michael Finkel. Oh, because it rhymes and it sounds so funny and funny and kind of cute, like a little creature or something. He's probably going to be offended if I say this. I like your name. It's very fun and nice to say. It rolls off the tongue so very nicely. So, yeah, those were the books. It was part 1 of Amazon's 2024 summer reads. These are the books they want you to read for the summer, and I will go for The Wager. If I needed to pick one from this part 1 list, it would be The Wager. Definitely. Let me know which one you would pick. So we got The Wager, we got Tomorrow. We got The Art Thief, Red Rising, We Begin at the End, Margo's Got Money Troubles, Deacon King Kong, and The Maid. So those were all the books that I looked at today. So, anyway, that's the end of this video. The next part is part 2. You can see there's kind of some interesting stuff going on here. Another color theme I'm seeing. And that is it. I hope you have a lovely day. Let me know which books you want to read. Let me know if you have plans to read any particular book in the summer. Are you going to add any of these books in this list to your summer reads to be read list? And also, let me know, did you know that Amazon had editors that review books? It was very I didn't even know. I never knew this. I've ordered books from Amazon for years. I never knew this. Never. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. Keep an eye out for part 2. I'm probably going to still record it today, but I don't know when I'm going to post it. Sometime this week. I promise. Because there are some things that need to be done this week. Some things. Okay. So, anyway, hope you have a lovely day. And you hear me in the next video. That was pretty fun, wasn't it? Yeah. The fox is out.